Do you want to know the best mindset you can have as a leader if you want to perform at the highest level and you want your team to do the same? Check this out. Do you and your team have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? A fixed mindset says that this is the way I am, not much I can do to get better, so why even try? Where a growth mindset says, you know what, I can get better, I can develop, I can grow. And because I believe that I can do that, and I believe that my team can do that, I am willing to invest into my growth and development. All right, so today we're going to talk about why having a growth mindset is so important for you and your team. All right, so if you watch my videos long enough, you're going to hear one word pop up, maybe more than any other, and that is the word trust. And I believe that having a growth mindset or growing and developing as a leader is one of the best ways we can build trust with our team. Because I know if I'm looking at a leader or someone that I see as a leader, and I know that leader is investing in themselves, is investing in their growth and development, what that tells me is they're taking their job seriously. That builds trust. It tells me that they're going to perform at their highest level. That builds trust. It tells me they care about me and the business. That builds trust. So being somebody who grows and develops is an incredible way to build trust with your team and also build trust with yourself, right? Because you know that when times get tough or things get hard, that you have a growth mindset and you know that you will figure it out or you will do whatever growth and development you need to do to figure it out. And it's a beautiful way to build trust with you. Right? Another thing I love about having a growth mindset is it resets our relationship with failure. If you've been in business any length of time like I have, you know there's a lot of failure. And there's failure around the bend at any point in your journey. So you better have a healthy relationship with failure or it will bury you. And having a growth mindset means that when I do fail, instead of seeing it as a burden or the end of the road, I see it as an opportunity to learn, because I believe that we learn more from our failures than we do our successes. So having a growth mindset is a very powerful tool in doing that. Another thing a growth mindset accomplishes is that it drives innovation in your business, right? You don't stagnate or you don't think, hey, this is the best we got. No, you will invest in innovation. You will invest in your team because you think things can always be better. Very powerful mindset. And there's an old adage that business rewards speed. Very hard to have speed if you're not growing and developing. Right. Another good thing about development and growth is the fact that leadership is a skill. Another thing you'll hear me say a lot. And I don't know of any skill, maybe you can tell me one if you know of one that you can not practice, not grow, not develop, not invest in and get better at. It's not how it works. There's too many things as a leader that we need to know and we need to be aware of and we need to be good at if we're going to be effective. No better way to do that to invest in your growth and development. And the last thing I want to touch on, because this is honestly a topic I can make a 30-minute video on because I'm deeply passionate about it. But when you as a leader take growth and development seriously and you communicate that back to your team, you create a culture and an environment where everyone takes growth and development seriously. And you watch what happens when you have an entire team that heavily invests in themselves and heavily invest in each other to make sure they're doing the best they can, they're growing and developing, and they're bringing the best version of themselves, their best ideas, their best thoughts to your business every day. It's powerful. Right? So if you hear this video and you realize, you know what? I'm doing not such a great job at this. I need to get better at it. And I see this a lot with the people I coach is they just think they're too busy to invest in that. They're too busy to read books and listen to podcasts and get coaching. Well, the reality is if you're too busy to invest in you, then by default, you're already doing something wrong. And you're holding yourself back and you're holding your team back. Right, so a couple quick tips on how we can bring this into our culture and how we can bring this into our lives. Number one is I think it's got to start with you, the leader. You know, leaders go first. I always talk about there's an old adage, I think Simon Sinek said it one or wrote a book about it, that leaders eat last. And yeah, when it comes to the perks and the benefits, leaders go last. They leave those things for their hardworking team. But when it comes to doing something hard and it comes to doing something challenging, leaders got to go first. Right? You can't sit back and wait for others to do it. That violates all laws of leadership. So it's got to start with you. What are you doing to grow and develop? Right? Are you thinking about, what areas do you need to grow and develop in? Where are you struggling? If you don't know, go ask people. Go to your team and say, hey guys, what can I do better as a leader? Get their feedback and then create a leadership development plan for yourself centered around those things. Find books, find coaching, find podcasts, find YouTube videos, whatever you need to do to up-level those areas of your life and your leadership. And as you're doing that, communicate that back to your team. Tell them what you're doing. Tell them what you're doing to grow. Talk about building trust. Go to your team and ask them what you can get better at, and then come back and tell them all the work you're doing to get better at that. Talking about creating an environment of what we call psychological safety and trust and fostering that culture of development. That will permeate down to your team. And as they start to get their interest piqued about, hey, maybe I should get better at growth and development. My leader is doing that. It must be important. Now you can start creating leadership development plans for them and recommending books and podcasts. And you can get really good at that because you're reading books and listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos and getting coaching. So you're going to know and be aware of the proper resources to give to your team so they can grow and develop. And you do this long enough, the culture you will create is unbelievably powerful. When everyone in your organization is investing in themselves, investing in their growth and getting better, you're going to get a better version of you. They're going to get a better version of you, and you're going to get a better version of them. And I don't know of many things I can think more powerful for a business than that. So process that, think about it. Determine where your gaps are when it comes to growth and development. Figure out if you're a growth mindset person or a fixed mindset person. I do tend to find that entrepreneurs and executives tend to be more growth minded, which is beautiful. But now we have to leverage that mindset and actually invest in that mindset to get the most out of it. So think about it, process it, and let me know how I can help.